Alright, today we're working with vectors and we're doing scalar multiplication. So just a reminder from last lesson, we have a vector which has a magnitude and direction. So a vector can look like this. It can either be in Cartesian form, so that means it has an x value. So let's say this is vector A. Vector A can be an x value and a y value, or it can be in polar form, which is a magnitude and a direction given by theta. So Cartesian, polar. Okay, so if we have a vector in Cartesian and we multiply that vector by what we call a scalar, the scalar is just a number, so we could multiply the vector by 2, then the x and the y you multiply by 2. It's very simple. So you can apply this for lots of different questions. Okay, so this example, we've got two vectors. It wants us to determine an unknown value x in the first vector. Seems straightforward. It has vector c, which is like a combination of the two vectors. And this combination is parallel to the y-axis. So if we substitute those in. So the c vector, 3 times the a vector minus, okay, and then we multiply that out. So 3xi minus 6j, right? Now it wants us to find the value of x. So the x value is next to an I unit vector. We also know it's parallel to the y-axis. It's moving up in the y. So the y is changing. The x values don't change. Isolate the x values. So we're just looking at the i's, because the i's are the x's. So you can see it's moving from negative 6j to 14j, so quite a long vector. But this part, because it's parallel to the y, that should sum to 0. So the i's this should be equal to 0, because there's no change in the x going in those directions. Okay, so then we just rearrange. So we've got 6 equals 3x. And look at that, 6 divided by 3, x equals 2. So we found the unknown value of x, because we knew the c vector, this vector, was parallel to the y. Okay, so that's a type of scalar multiplication, multiplying it out. Make sure you take the negatives with it, so negative times a negative is a positive. Okay, so we know a midpoint, OM, if we have, say, A is there, B is there, and we have the midpoint M, we know divided by 2. Is just 1i plus 2j. OB is 4i plus 3j. So I've just taken the x, put it the I unit vector, taken the y, put the j unit vector. And now we've got two vectors in Cartesian form. Now we're going to sum, so add the two vectors and divide it by 2. So the i's 1 plus 4, 5i. The j's 2 plus 3, also 5, but it's 5j over 2. So the final answer, the midpoint, is 5 over 2i plus 5 over 2j. So that's the midpoint, the middle of the line segment A, B.